All right, hey everybody, this is John, and welcome to the free video. Let's dive right in. So we've got a tale of a couple of different markets going on. First, the main market we're all familiar with is simply what I would call the mega cap market. And the mega cap market is, of course, Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix, Microsoft. And essentially, they've been very strong, and since they make up such a huge proportion of the QQQ and SPY, as they go higher, these indexes go higher, even though there's a record amount of stocks trading below their 50-period moving average. So basically, it's kind of like, if you think of it that way, it's kind of like, okay, the market's moving up on air. Now, is every stock doing great? Well, if we look at a stock like Pinterest, Pinterest is more reflective of what most of the stocks look like. So, you had a good run up into 2021, Q1 2021, and then from there, on a weekly chart, you get kind of sloppy. On a daily chart, this thing's been selling off all month, and we had a dead cat bounce today. So there's a lot of charts that look like that. And then, like in transports and stuff like that, if we take a look at what's happening there, we can look at Federal Express. And Federal Express here on a weekly chart, it's like, okay, that looks pretty good. And on a daily chart, it's kind of like, well, what does this thing want to do? And then when we step back and we look at the sector as a whole through the ETF IYT, which is the transport sector ETF, we can see that beneath the hood here, things don't look that great. It's a kind of a little known fact that essentially if the market's going to sell off, transports actually sell off weeks ahead of time. It's a great signal. I sometimes wonder why it gives you such lead time. I mean, this topped in May, and then it's like, okay, selling, 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 and then what happens is then the S&Ps catch up to it. Oftentimes, this chart will reflect what the S&Ps will look like over the next month, okay? Well, let's look at the S&Ps, SPY. And do they look anything like that right now? And the answer, of course, is no. I mean, because they look pretty strong. But what we want to keep in mind is what small caps are telling us, what industrials are telling us, what transports are telling us, is that underneath the hood, it's not really that rosy. And look, I get it. Don't fight the Fed and all that kind of stuff too. But we're also in a situation where we had a squeeze. That's the time you're going to get the big move. We've run out of momentum. We did test the 55, and then sometimes when you do test the 55, it kind of can open up the door to more. And we can see that every time we've tested the 55 this year, let's see, let me put this up a little bit. We've held except for one time in March. So in March we did fall to the 89. That's the 89 period moving average. And so that's what I'm looking at here is I think we actually have the potential to actually head down to the 89 period moving average. Let's call it over the next 4 weeks. Okay, I'm not looking for a crash or anything like that. I just think that at this point we need to be cautious. And so that would take us to 413 bucks on the spiders, and boy, would that be a great buying opportunity. So do you aggressively short here? We covered a lot of shorts on Monday, which were fantastic, and that was like the third best trading day of the year. But we're a little bit in no man's land here. This is not, I'm not backing up the truck and buying. I'm also not backing up the truck and shorting. This is a trading market, meaning shorter term trades that last a couple of days on the long side and the short side. We put a couple of them on in the room today, which is great, and we'll continue to look at them. All right. Hope it helps. You guys have a fantastic rest of the day, and we'll see you at the next update.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me